Hello, I'm Robin Gibson, and this is the Harvard House Money Morsel. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell so you get a notification of when we're releasing a new video. I'm sitting today with Willie Pelser. Hello, Willie.
Morning, Robin.
So, Willie, one of the things that has been the big concern in the markets is tariffs, and Trump is going to kill the US economy because it's just going to cost the consumer so much more. But it's showing itself to be surprisingly resilient, isn't it?
Yeah, Robin, it's interesting. The GDP statistics yesterday was revised, US GDP was revised higher, I think up to 3.9%. They also had some consumer-related data, and consumer spending is also surprised to the upside. Now, there's again a growth number, I think it was 2.8% year-on-year type of thing. So where expectations were obviously much lower or much slower type of thing. So, Robin, back to the tariffs. I think because the world is becoming such a place that we waiting for the instant. So yes, the tariffs are there, and now we think it's the impact is immediate. I think again, economic statistics, we often talk about it. It takes time. So the full effect of tariffs will only come out, argument's sake, in a year's time, type of thing, because there will be a bit of pent-up demand at the moment, and I think that's what one has seen, because people have preempted the effect of, tariffs will make it more expensive in the US on certain products and so on, and they've adjusted quickly. Also, don't forget, the US also had an interest rate cut last month. So as consumers, you plan forward. So the spending of, it will be cheaper from our own financial situation perspective because of the lower interest rate. So I think all of those things are still in the pool of muddling through the worst case scenario of the tariffs. And remember, every now and then there's new adjustments on tariffs. Things get lowered somewhere or hiked in some other places. Trump last night adjusted some stuff on heavy vehicle trucks or heavy trucks. Again, on pharmaceuticals, that type of thing. So I think we must give all of this a year to play out. I know we have to make these decisions on shorter-term nature, but the true impact, I think, will come later.
And of course, really, there's the wealth effect. I mean, we can't ever forget the wealth effect, because from an American consumer point of view, he's had the last 10 years where their market has shot the lights out. I mean, they must be seeing that in their pension funds, in their investments, and I mean, research shows that when you feel wealthier, you do spend, hey?
Yeah, no, Robin, it's exactly that. And I think that's what we're seeing, remember, as you say. I'm actually going to lead you into maybe a question on the South African consumer.
Yes.
We had this two-pot system that's now a year old, effectively. Quite a few interesting things that's jumped out. The one is we had statistics assumptions previously that people will take between 45 up to 120 billion out and then spend it back into the economy. Now those numbers are seriously lower relative to expectations. And then there's another theory in a development actually in the two-pot system for the long-term benefit of South Africa's savings industry and me as a personal saver. Can you shed some light on that and actually refer to the article you've just written?
Yeah, so yes, so there was the latest article of Intuition talked about two-pot system. I think initially what happened is people suddenly realized they had to pay tax, and that really stopped them from digging into their, because they suddenly realized, oh, hang on, I'm not going to get my full 30,000. There's going to be a bite from the tax man, and I know there was a lot of unhappiness about that. So that possibly answers why it was a little bit lower. But I think, when the initial press came out on this two-pot system, the theory was they were just buying votes, when in fact I think it had been thought through a lot more than that.
I think we've also, informed clients that this has been a change in our pension fund industry that dates back 10 years,
Yes.
actually 20 years.
Yes, yeah, they've been researching it for a long time. I think what was really interesting in the article that I wrote is that I referenced a presentation that Discovery did at a recent retirement conference. And, the core principle, there's a table in there that you'll note. But just to talk to the idea that in financial planning, when it comes to retirement, we have this thing called a replacement ratio.
Yes.
Now, the theory is that when you get to retirement, what your retirement savings can produce in terms of income relative to your final salary from your employer is considered your replacement ratio.
Yeah.
And
that's actually a concept of, if you've earned a salary, now you now you retire, you still need to earn a salary, and that's actually now coming from your investment pool.
It's all about income, yes. So the general theory in financial planning is that you should be able to get an ideal retirement scenario is 70 to 75% replacement ratio compared to your final salary from an employer. And that would be obviously because now you're not paying investments or buying life assurance. There's some stuff that drops off from a cost point of view, so you can have the same lifestyle for 75% of the income that you had before. That's the theory. And I think what is amazing is if you go and look at that table, because the new two-pot system forces people to preserve every time they change jobs, I think that is actually demonstrating that there's going to be this multiplier effect of replacement ratios into the future, and the growth of the savings industry. So, I mean, the article really visits those two things.
There's actually an interesting thing in the two-pot system. I have dealt with it previously, but people would resign from a job to actually access their pension fund.
Correct, yes.
And then they would do 3 or 4 or 5 times of changing jobs, 100%. Buy a new car or
100%.
finance a house or toys or whatever type of thing. And then you hit retirement, you don't have enough because you've actually delved into this. Where the two-pot actually forces us now as a 2/3 or something.
Yes.
That you can't access when you resign.
Yeah, 100%. And that's going to stay in the savings industry. Which I think really, I would always argue that one of the big protectors of the Rand is the fact that we have such a big, I know most people probably feel the Rand has been obliterated, but if you compare us to sort of countries like Chile and Argentina that have absolutely been hammered when something goes wrong internally, it's because they don't have such a big savings pool. And as a result, who funds government budget? Well, it's external investors who punish you much more when things go wrong. So actually this is a phenomenal input into the South African savings industry going forward over the next 50 years. So I think it's a really exciting development when we look outwards from a big picture perspective.
Yeah, Roman, I think that's, as we said, there was method in the madness here. This wasn't a political vote, the type of thing. So the consumers in future will be in a better place. I think that's what it's
definitely into retirement.
Or from a savings perspective. We can spend ourselves over the edge.
Exactly. Willie, thanks very much for joining me. Nice conversation. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.